Thank you for tuning into Tanaka TV, the best and future biggest fight channel on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, that comment, that subscribe button. We're trying to get this channel to over 1K by the end of the year. And I am super confident that this channel can do that. But this channel cannot do that without your support. So thank you for those who support this channel. And thank you for those who will support this channel in the future. I truly appreciate every single last one of you. We're approaching 900 right now, so we're getting there. We're getting there. But like I said, we can't do that without you. So let's get into it, though. There was some huge news that came out earlier today. Now, this news may be a bit surprising for you. It's a bit surprising for me, right? And I know that there was talks about it earlier, like maybe earlier last year or so. But it's pretty official, at least as far as how everything is playing out right now. And this news is Jake Paul is going up against Mike Tyson. Now, my first thoughts about this was, oh, well, there goes another L for Jake Paul. Like, that's just another L. But there are some things that Jake Paul presents that's a bit of an advantage over Mike Tyson. The one that's the most glaring to me, and I would honestly say that is the only glaring fact about Jake Paul's advantages towards Mike Tyson, is that Jake Paul is way younger than Mike Tyson. We're not talking about a Mike Tyson here who is in his 20s, in his 30s, in his 40s. We're talking about a Mike Tyson who's in his 50s, okay? So Mike Tyson is long gone when it comes to his prime. But if we've seen Mike Tyson's last videos of him training, his past videos and footage of him hitting the pads, hitting the bag, he's still got a lot in the tank, okay? Out of all of the athletes that I've seen who have retired and gone on throughout life, Mike Tyson is by far the most capable retired athlete, especially in his 50s, that I've ever seen, that I think anybody has ever really seen. And so when it comes to his ability to, of course, box, because I don't think Mike Tyson will be left out of anybody's one of the greatest of all time list. I'm not saying that he's the best. There are a lot of people who we can say are the best of all time. We've got, Pernell Whitaker, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. We've got a lot of different fighters that we can say could be the greatest of all time. And I think that a lot of people will have different answers. But it's hard to leave Mike Tyson off that list of, like, what? Would you leave Mike Tyson off your top 10? I think it'd be crazy to leave him off your top 10, top 15 boxers of all time. And now he's in his portion of his life that he's in his mid-50s now. He's been retired for what, 20-ish years now? And he's going up against a guy in Jake Paul who has fought, let's be honest here. Let's be 100% honest. Jake Paul has not fought anybody even remotely close to the caliber of the fighter that Mike Tyson was. I can't even, off the top of my head, name the boxers that Jake Paul has gone up against. Now, he's fought up against, Nate Diaz, and he's fought against Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, which were all solid. I mean, Tyron Woodley and Nate Diaz were solid fighters. We're talking about GOATs. He did fight Anderson Silva, but Anderson Silva is not a boxer. By no means, if you look at Anderson Silva, you would say, oh yeah, he's a boxer. And outside of that, Jake Paul has fought journeymen. At best, he's fought journeymen in the boxing, atmosphere. And so this is the first person that he's fighting that has true legitimacy in the boxing world. But he's 20 years past it. And so how I see it is if Jake Paul loses, then we all expect that. If Jake Paul wins, then there's going to be a lot to be said about, oh, you fought an older Mike Tyson. You fought a Mike Tyson who's outside of his prime. In my opinion, there's a side that you look at it that it's a lose-lose for Jake Paul. But if he wins, I think that that's going to be a huge bragging right for Jake Paul to himself, because you beat Mike Tyson. But he's not going to mention the fact that Mike Tyson is 20 to 30 years outside of his prime. He's going to use this as a leverage for any of his other future fights if he wins. And that's a big if, because like I said, Mike Tyson has been staying in shape as of the last couple of years, and he's still pretty game. He's just not in his prime anymore. Jake Paul is in his prime. He's in his physical prime. So now, who would I have winning this? I don't have Jake Paul knocking out Mike Tyson. That's even crazy for me to even form the words to say. I don't have Jake Paul knocking out Mike Tyson. But he is old enough to be Mike Tyson's son. Let's put that into perspective. Mike Tyson has, like 30 years, almost 30 years on Jake Paul. So that's a huge factor. And that's the biggest factor that I'll give to Jake Paul. But if I had to choose a winner for this, I'll give it to Mike Tyson. That's if this fight even happens. But I'll give it to Mike, because Mike has so much more experience, obviously. And Mike Tyson is still in shape, and he still got it. You know, when a person starts getting older and they start heading into their mid and late 50s, they start getting the wobbles, especially when they start doing certain movements. Like when Mike Tyson, when he's doing his his boxing movements, he doesn't have too many of the wobbles where he gets kind of like off balance a little bit. He's still in there. He's still throwing his jabs and his uppercuts and his crosses with pristine accuracy and power. Of course, comparatively speaking to his younger self, it's not as good, but he still got it. And I definitely don't think Jake Paul wants to get hit by that. And Jake Paul's going to keep that in mind. But I do think Jake Paul's going to come in with confidence, because he knows the advantages that he has over Mike Tyson. But I'll give it to Mike. I'll give it to Mike 7-3. 70% going to Mike Tyson, 30% going to Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul is biting off a little bit more than he can chew, but he understands where Mike Tyson's at, and that's why he's so confident to take this. On top of the fact that he knows that it's going to make a lot of noise, because the last fighters that Jake Paul has gone up against have not made a lot of noise. So he needed this. He needed this to bring back the energy in his upcoming social media boxing career. And so comment down below, people, who you have winning. What do you think about this matchup? Did you see this coming? Do you think it should even happen? And who do you have winning? I would love to get your opinion. So comment down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.